All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And today, as y'all can see by the title and the thumbnail, I'm going to be helping y'all on how to grow an aesthetic physique. And it's pretty simple. It's not, not hard. I'm just going to just take y'all through some of the movements and everything that I have did throughout my years of training and everything like that to help y'all to be able just to, grow, in those areas. So basically, first off, we're starting off with growing an aesthetic physique. It's starting off with growing your back. So basically, when I say growing your back, basically you want to start off with, and how I like starting my movements off, is basically doing some kind of lat movement, rowing movement, and depending on what day, 'cause like I mentioned before, I train back twice out of the week. So basically, I have one day where I focus on more of a lat focus, and then the next day or next time I do whatever, I come around and recover and train back again, I'll have more of where I focus on more rowing movement. So basically, we're just gonna break it down. So we're gonna start off with basically when you're hitting back. I like starting mine off with lat pull downs, and basically with lat pull downs, this is what's going to be more of targeting the lats, of course, as y'all can it's in the name. So basically, one thing I've been focusing on doing and trying to get in a habit of with doing is trying to focus on form. Gotta focus on form and stop trying to ego lift. So basically, what I try to do is trying to make sure that I'm going through the movement, getting that good squeeze, good stretch, all that kind of good stuff like that, and taking it between maybe like 8 to 12 reps, somewhere up in there. And I always do like a drop set. If it's not a single drop set, I do a double drop set. But you really just want to just making sure that just taking your reps, and everything to failure, and you'll just get, stronger over time. Next thing you want to work on with doing is some kind of rowing movement. So you can do what you can say, got the cable roll, you got plate loaded rolls, you got the Smith machine bent over rolls, or you can do it just regular way. I just like prefer doing it on the Smith machine just because of I won't have to worry about like using any kind of momentum and all that kind of stuff like that, and it's just so much easier doing it on the Smith machine than instead of just doing it just on the straight just barbell. You got the way you can do dumbbells, single arm rolls. Like it's all like it's a lot of exercise you can do with rolls, but with whatever it is, let's just pick for an example with the cable roll, something simple. You can just do it where it's with a close grip handle, or any kind of handle like that, and making sure that you're just getting a good squeeze, good stretch, just trying to just cut out that momentum when you are doing, these movements and stuff like that and everything. And to go back to the actual with lat portions also too, you can do assistant pull-ups, you can do like single arm movements, with doing some of the lat stuff, lat pullovers. So there's a lot of areas that you can be able to do. So like if your gym may not have, a certain movement that I may probably like, mention or something like that, you can just add in another alternative, for that and everything like that. So yeah, but long as you just really focusing on more of that 8 to 12 and making sure it's a good 8 to 12. Like if it's just some weight that you're doing and you see that it's so easy being able to get to that point, that's how you know you need to go ahead and up the weight, because you want it to be challenging, throughout the sets and everything like that. So, yeah, and then that just really just leads me into one more movement that you can do, somewhere you can do more of your back focuses. Like I say, I have where when I work out or like my workout routine, I have two different muscle groups. So for an example, if I'm hitting chest, I'm hitting back. And then next time I hit back again, it would be with shoulders. So basically, if I had to just choose, like if we just had just to have it targeted to where it's just one day, it is like a fully back day, I would say I would probably stick to like maybe like 4 movements, I would say. So basically, it would probably include like maybe 2 lat movements, 2 rowing movements. Simple, just like that. So it probably leads to like lat pull downs. I'll probably get into like some lat pullovers. If not that, I'll do some pull-ups. And then for the 2 rowing movements, I get into the cable rolls. And then what? some kind of machine work, I guess you can say. If not machine, I can get into the plate load to see the row, something like that, simple. So, and then that's really to be honest, really about it when it comes to the hand back. Just really want to making sure that you just having that balance, with doing it, and as long as you just continue just to keep progressive, overloading, keep increasing the weight every time you're training. Trust me, I guarantee you'll start getting stronger and you'll start seeing results. So, and once you're doing that, like I mentioned, at least trying to train back twice, out of the week. Um, and yeah, to making sure that you just have it to where you have one day when you're working out, you have one day where it's focused more on lats, and then your second day you'll have it focused on more of where you're doing more mid back, upper back, all that kind of stuff like that. Whenever you're training back again after that. So the next one is the key, shoulders. So you basically want to make sure that you're hitting all three heads of the shoulder. What I mean is front delts, side delts, rear delts. So I like when I am hitting shoulders, I like having mine more of, I like starting off with rear delts first, just because of, I feel like when I used to have rear delts at the end, like kind of be the same way with calves, you just ain't gonna hit them as hard, if you like just go ahead and put them at the beginning. So I like starting off with rear delts first, and basically with rear delts, it's some in the way that you can do it. But I just prefer doing mine more of on doing it on the pec deck machine. But if it's not open or something like that, then my go-to would either be the face pull or with the rope on the cable, or we'll do like some little dumbbell rear delt flies. Any one of those areas right there, good to go. I kind of go more of the higher volume when it comes to when it rear delt, so I kind of aim to more of like 12 to 15. And of course I do drop sets with that. Really with all my movements, I'm always doing a drop set. If it's not a drop set, it's a single drop set, just because of, I don't know, I just like training like that. So basically with doing that, making sure you just getting that squeeze, controlling the weight, just not trying to go too crazy, with the weight. You really want to make sure you just focus on that form, making sure that you just really hitting the rear delts, and you'll be good. So that leads me into also basically when you're doing back anyway with any kind of pulling, like rowing movements and stuff like that, you're gonna work your rear delts. And I know I don't say this most of the time in some of my videos whenever I do hit back. That doesn't give you the excuse to just skip out and not just hit rear delts just because of your rear delts is getting work on rowing movement. You still want to have it to where you still hitting some kind of movements that are actually, hitting the rear delts, itself too and everything. So yeah, that's basically it though. So after that, I move into lateral raises, or side delts, I mean, but one of my favorites anyway is really just lateral raises. If it's not with the dumbbells, I know I be seeing a lot of gyms and stuff now, they have a lot of like the machine lateral raises. My gym don't have that, so I just tend to just focus on more of doing more dumbbell work. If it's not dumbbell, I can go to the cables. So you can do dumbbell lateral raises, you can do like single arm on the cables. As long as you're doing something like that, you'll be good to go. Like I say, still to focus on the form, you'll be good to go. I usually try to target like 8 to 12 of doing that. And yeah, that'd be pretty much it. I like doing it with a superset, with helping with my traps. I don't really do shrugs like how I used to. When I first used to train, I used to do a lot of shrugs and everything like that, but now the only exercise I do is literally the upright rows. If it's not with the bar, I do it with the cable. So that's really the only trap exercise I do for my traps and everything like that. And that usually the same amount of reps too, 8 to 12 there also. And then lastly is front delts. So it's a lot of ways that you can be able to target the front delts. You got it with dumbbells, you can do it on the Smith machine, plate loaded, machine work, all that kind of stuff like that. You got to make sure that you're hitting all heads of the shoulders. And 8 to 12, I used to do like 8 to 12, 8 to 10, heavy. The key is just you got to make sure you keep pushing yourself. Keep pushing yourself. Over time, you'll start, growing and developing, over time like that. But I have some days where I will do like dumbbell shoulder press, or it'll be some days where I probably just feel like I don't feel like dumbbell shoulder press, and I do Smith machine shoulder press, or to do like plate load. It really just depends on my mood, whatever day that I am, hitting shoulders and all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, that's really, to be honest, really pretty much about it, to be honest. So long as you just, just give a quick recap, long as, you're hitting your back, having a lat focus day, um, and more of a mid back, upper back focus, and then you just hitting your shoulders, hey, you'll be good. And that's really really pretty much about it to be able to come with an aesthetic physique. And I would say one bonus thing, one key thing I can throw in there is legs. It's legs. I know, I'll be honest, when I first started training, I hated training legs. I hated training legs, but it's just that we gotta train them. We gotta train them. 2025 now, man. We gotta go put that work in. Gotta grind. So, like I say, with hitting legs, I mean, I usually try to stick between like four, no more than five movements. So basically, how my leg day will usually go will, I do some kind of hat squat. If it's not hat squats, I do like back squats, but I haven't back squatted in a good little minute though. So either one of them two. I rarely do both of those movements on the same day. So it'll probably be back squats. Then I do leg press, and then I do two movements after that. Where it'll probably be one quad, one hamstring. So it'll probably be like a split squat, and then we'll do like some like leg curl work. Throw calves in there, call it a day. So yeah. Other than that though, that's really pretty much about it. Just say that making sure you just hit that muscle group twice out of the week if you can. Making sure you just tying that in with nutrition. Make sure you're recovering. You make sure you get enough sleep. Usually I can get at least like 6 to 9 hours of sleep. Somewhere up in there. Make sure you just fully resting, get some good meals in. And trust me, you'll be able to see some results off of doing that. But that's pretty much about it. The breakdown of sets and everything like that with what I do. Basically with lat pull downs, I do no more than 4 sets. And it's working sets actually. So basically, when I say working set, it's basically, okay, I do one set, just kind of get warmed up, just kind of get the feeling, and everything like that. But I won't count that set. My next set will actually be my working set, just to be able to see, okay, this is the weight that I'm going to be doing, to be able just to count this as the first set. So I'd be able just to stay within that 8 to 12 or 8 to 10 or whatever I do, just choose to do on within that day. And same thing goes with the rowing movements, shoulder movements also. Same thing, just continue to keep, having to where it's working sets, because it's just the fact that you just don't want to do 4 sets and it just be 4 easy sets. You're not gonna be doing nothing like for yourself, just doing it. You want to make it challenging and hard for yourself with doing that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I say, making sure that you hitting your back twice out of the week, hitting your shoulder twice out of the week, progressive overloading, making sure you're recovering right, getting enough food in your system. Hey, you'll be good. And basically with some of these movements that I have mentioned, with basically focusing on was, getting that aesthetic physique, as I mentioned, you want to train your back, you want to train your shoulders, you want to train your legs, but also you want to make sure that you train in other areas too. Making sure you're training your chest, upper chest, middle chest, your lower chest, really in general, making sure that you're just training, each muscle group, but I was just mentioning that with just being able just to get that, that full balance, where overall, look, making sure that, you're hitting your back, shoulders, and just tying and bringing everything in together. Making sure you're hitting that twice out of the week, guarantee you'll be able to start seeing results. And hopefully y'all did enjoy something like this. And if y'all did enjoy, y'all let me know down in the comment section. I can start doing more videos like this where I can start giving y'all like a little tips and tricks on what you can do to be able just to grow, certain muscle groups and everything like that. So other than that though, hopefully y'all enjoyed, this video and everything like that. So I want to say I love y'all. Thank y'all for y'all support. Y'all stay blessed, stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next video.